Today, I'm going to explain an American action film movie, Snakes on a Plane, released in the year 2006. The movie is about how a mob boss fills a whole plane with snakes to kill the witness against him, but the officer protecting the witness and the boy himself appear to be brave enough that they ruin his plan. But before we begin to tell you this amazing story, please make sure to subscribe our channel so that you are updated with all the new exciting movie recaps we release in the coming weeks, and beware of the spoilers. The movie opens, and we see a young and enthusiastic boy named Sean on his bike, and when he stops his bike from having a drink, a man hangs upside down in front of him suddenly, and before he can help, the man asks him to leave as some men were chasing him. Sean hides and notices a mobster, Eddie Kim, who arrives with his men and kills the hanging man using a baseball bat. Sean panics after witnessing the horrible murder and draws attention when he leaves on his bike. When Sean returns home, he learns that the man murdered was an attorney, Hayes, against Eddie in a high-profile case. Instead of taking responsibility, Eddie has issued a statement consoling Hayes' family. Suddenly, Sean feels someone is at his door, and upon checking, he finds Eddie's men trying to break into his house. When Sean tries to hide, Officer Flynn helps him, shoots all the intruders inside his house, and leads Sean to his car. Sean is investigated by Officer Sanders, who asks him strictly to testify against Eddie and shows him the juice can that Sean dropped at the murder site. Afterwards, Flynn comes there and requests Sean to witness against Eddie as he knows about him and will kill him eventually if he hides. Flynn gives him a choice to accompany him to LA. Otherwise, he can be dead any time in his city. Sean agrees, and the scene shifts to Honolulu Airport, where Sean looks at a plane and wonders whether they must go on it, but Flynn informs him that's just a bait and leads him to the flight. After that, the flight captain approaches a flight attendant, Claire, and informs her that the FBI has taken the VIP section because they are escorting someone, and she is supposed to inform the passengers about their shifting in the coach section. On the other hand, one of Eddie Kim's men is seen spraying pheromone on Lays and informs his boss not to worry about what he is doing. Claire welcomes all passengers and informs them about their shifting to the coach section, and a businessman gets into an argument, but he agrees in the end. After a while, the same businessman gets irritated by Mercedes's dog and the woman with a baby, Maria, sitting beside him and switches seats. After he leaves, a famous rapper, Clarence, and his friends, Troy and Leroy, enter the coach section, and Clarence becomes the center of attention for Mercedes. Meanwhile, Sean enjoys his first experience of being inside the business class and questions Flynn about Sanders. Flynn assures him he is trustworthy, and Sanders informs him that they are being referred to Officer Harris, who will help them. Flynn talks to Harris and questions him about Eddie, and Harris ensures that they have eyes on him, and he is not going anywhere. Claire joins a man named Brown, who is worried about his kids as it's their first experience on a plane, and they are going to see their mother. Claire cheers the kids by informing them about Clarence and his friends. After that, all the passengers are guided about the safety measures in an emergency. Tiffany, a flight attendant, approaches Sean and questions him about what he is doing with the police, and Sean mentions Eddie Kim. But Sean hides the truth when she mentions how Eddie Kim gouged out a man's eyes who testified against him. After Tiffany leaves, Flynn looks at Sean's sketch and mentions that he has been to Bali and tried surfing but didn't like it that much. Sean understands that Flynn cannot stay on his board and makes fun of him. Claire and Grace are collecting leftovers from passengers' seats, and Claire informs Grace that she'll miss her as it's her last flight as Claire's colleague. Clarence asks Mercedes to accompany him, but her dog keeps irritating Clarence. After a while, we see that as the timer ends, many poisonous snakes come out from the back of the plane and spread everywhere. One of the snakes bites and breaks a circuit which causes some problems, and the pilots must contact Los Angeles Tower to update them about the issue they are facing. A couple goes inside the washroom to smoke a cigarette by taking off the sensor, and when they are busy with each other, the snake bites and kills them while Grace and Ken think they are having a good time. After that, the snakes reach the coach section, but the passengers remain unaware of the snakes. One of the passengers panics due to the turbulence, and when Claire approaches the pilots, they inform her that they have lost a board, which is causing problems. Captain climbs down to reset the breaker, and when he is done, a snake bites him and causes his demise. Claire spots the captain lying unconscious, and when the second pilot, Rick, climbs down, he learns that Captain is gone. Claire rushes to Flynn and Sanders, who looks at the dead body of Captain and asks Claire and Rick to get back in their positions. Rick informs LAX Tower about the death of their captain, and after Rick is alone, he spots a snake. When he attacks to kill it, he accidentally presses a button which causes the oxygen masks to fall, due to which many snakes attack the passengers. The snakes kill many passengers, while a few die from the mayhem. Maria falls unconscious when she hits her head against a wall and loses her baby. Sanders also falls among the snakes, but Sean helps him eliminate them. Flynn saves people from the snakes and orders them to construct a wall between them and the snakes. Claire informs Flynn that she cannot find Tommy and Curtis, and they find the kids hiding and learn that Curtis has been bitten. On the other hand, Mercedes awakens and finds herself surrounded by snakes, but her dog scares the snakes. When a snake is about to bite Mercedes, a kickboxer saves her and rushes to a safe place with Mercedes on his back. At the same time, Grace listens to the baby cry among the snakes and rushes to save the baby. Eventually, she finds the baby and sacrifices herself to save the baby. Grace returns to the safe place with the baby and her mom, and the venom spreads throughout her body. Flynn rushes to help Sanders go upstairs, and when he makes him sit on a seat, Sanders passes away, wishing good luck to Flynn. Flynn talks to Rick, who is confused and informs him that the plane can go down anytime if any of the snakes break one more circuit, and he is doing all that he can do. Flynn informs Harris about Sanders' death and reveals Eddie's plan to bring down the whole plane to kill Sean. Harris orders his men to find the best snake expert for him immediately. After that, an officer leads him to see Dr. Price. Maria spots Curtis's hand in the worst condition, so she asks for olive oil and sucks out all the venom. Flynn talks to Dr. Price and asks him for venom, but Price informs him that they have snakes of all kinds on their plane and injecting the wrong venom can kill them immediately. Flynn disconnects the call after suggesting to get the information about dead snakes they can collect. Subsequently, all passengers panic, and despite being stopped by Claire and Tiffany, they reach business class and question Flynn about what is happening. Flynn requests them to calm down, but Sean informs them that he is a witness against Eddie Kim, who is why he has filled the plane with snakes. Flynn assures the passengers that he will save them and motivates them to work as a team and bring as many dead snakes as possible. Inside the pilot's room, a snake bites Rick's arm, and he falls into the basement while trying to get rid of the snake. Flynn gets all the dead snakes in one place and fails to describe how the snakes look to Dr. Price. Mercedes informs him that she has a computer and internet on her phone, and Flynn informs Dr. Price that he will email him the pictures of snakes. Suddenly, Claire feels something is wrong, and when she rushes inside the pilot's cabin, she is stunned to see no one there. A snake attacks her when she tries to investigate the basement, and she kills the snake using an axe, and Flynn also joins her there. Unfortunately, the plane starts descending, due to which the barriers break, and the snakes start moving toward the passengers. Sean rushes to save the passengers and asks them to move upstairs, and sadly, many passengers die when the supports beside the stairs break, causing them to fall. Suddenly, an anaconda falls, which scares the passengers, and the businessman throws Mercedes' dog to distract the giant snake. Mercedes gets mad at him, but the snake wraps around him and starts engulfing him by breaking all his bones. When the plane gets below 1,000 feet, the officer at the LAX tower orders his men to get the coast ready and make the arrangements to reach the site of the crash, but luckily Flynn and Claire save the plane from crashing. After a while, Rick comes out and puts the plane on autopilot. On the other side, Price gets the images and learns that the snakes have been taken from all over the globe and informs Harris that it can take 2 or 3 days for the venom to reach them. They keep thinking and finally conclude that Eddie would have bought the snakes from a dealer in LA, and Harris asks to take their car to the heliport. Afterwards, Sean informs Flynn that the AC is not recycling the air, which will make breathing difficult for them. Flynn and Claire meet Rick, who informs them that he has slowed down the plane, and on being asked, he informs Flynn that the AC control system lies in the cargo hold at the back and they will have to turn it on manually. Clarence loses his mind due to less oxygen and argues with flight attendants. When Flynn interferes, Clarence snatches his gun, but Troy makes him realize that he is not like how he is acting now. Following that, Flynn leaves to turn on the AC and Claire gives him a spray bottle with lighter to use against the snakes. Clarence approaches Tiffany and apologizes to her and Ken for his misbehavior, while Flynn crosses all the hurdles and finally turns on the AC, which comforts everyone. Flynn gets rid of the snakes that attack him. On the other hand, Dr. Price leads Harris to Cradler, a dealer who is notorious for making large deals of illegal snake smuggling. When Harris tries to approach Cradler, he tries to resist, but Harris gains the upper hand and injures him, after which a snake bites Cradler. Price arrives and picks up the antivenom for Cradler, while Harris takes it and uses it to question Cradler about the snakes he has sold to Eddie Kim. Cradler gets scared and provides the list of snakes and their antivenoms. Meanwhile, Flynn returns and is welcomed as their hero by everyone. Suddenly, Sean informs Flynn about the call from Harris, and then Flynn informs everyone that they have found the antivenom, and now all they have to do is to wait for landing. When Claire rushes to see Rick in the cockpit, they learn that Rick has died and the cockpit is not full of snakes. Flynn questions everyone whether anyone knows how to fly a plane, and Clarence informs him that Troy can help them. After being motivated, Troy agrees to help, and Flynn asks everyone to grab something as he will make a whole plane to get rid of snakes inside the cockpit. Flynn shoots and manages to make his way inside the cockpit with Troy. Eventually, they balance the plane, and all the passengers are safe while the snakes fly out of the plane due to low pressure. Flynn and Troy contact LAX Tower, and everyone is stunned to learn that Troy has his experience of flying a plane from a game on PlayStation. Troy asks to clear all the runways for their landing, and eventually, Troy and Flynn succeed in landing the plane safely, after which all the passengers get off the plane. Before Sean can get off the plane, Flynn stops and thanks him for everything, but a snake attacks Sean. Everyone gets worried when Flynn shoots Sean in the chest to kill the snake, but then we see that Sean is fine because he is wearing a bulletproof jacket. Flynn then meets Claire and asks her for dinner with him, and she leaves accepting the offer. On the other hand, Tiffany gives her number to Sean and leaves, asking him to contact her. Harris orders his men to arrest Eddie Kim and charge him for multiple murder attempt. Afterwards, Flynn accompanies Sean, and the movie ends when we see Flynn and Sean surfing. Overall, Snakes on a Plane is a great movie to watch with an amazing storyline, so make sure to check it out. To watch many more exciting recaps like this,